Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Department of Ag Trade Consumer Protection. Got Lara Sutherland here. Lara, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
And I'm glad you're here, and we're talking. I don't know that we've talked about this, or I just can't remember because we've talked about so many great topics. But cryptocurrency scams. Something that seems to be just shooting up, and maybe because we all had more time at home to research things, so maybe people are getting on board with this, maybe they're not, but of course there's scams tied to this. So tell us a little bit about what cryptocurrency scams look like.
Absolutely. So part of the reason we're talking about it is the FTC recently issued a report on scams related to cryptocurrency and the impact they're having on consumers. And it's pretty alarming stuff. Since October 2020, consumers have reported to the FTC more than $8 million of loss to cryptocurrency investment scams. So that's a tenfold increase over last year, pretty significant. The other thing that was pretty interesting about this report, it includes about 7,000 reports and complaints. And what we often talk about on your show is that's just the tip of the iceberg. Those are the people that are willing to complain and acknowledge that they've been duped. And so, you know, not everybody. There's many, many more thousands of people that aren't reporting. The other thing that's interesting about this is that the amount of young people that are affected by this, of that 80 million, there is about the 20s and 30s lost more money than anybody else in that scam, somewhere around 35 million. So they are really, really being targeted in this space, and all the more reason to start talking about this and talking about this more so folks can keep themselves safe. So what is a cryptocurrency scam? Well, in some ways it has the hallmarks of a lot of scams that we recognize. They are capturing the imagination of what's happening out in the economy, and they're using facts in the economy to lure you into an investment that may or may not be true. So a lot of times they're just outright scams. They're websites that aren't real. They're cryptocurrency that's not real. And they encourage you to get on the train immediately and quickly, and that you're going to win, or that your money is going to, quadruple or tenfold or what have you. So that looks like a lot of scams we always talk about: urgency, faking information that's out there and tweaking it a little bit to lure you in and telling you have to get on board right now, or you aren't going to be able to make more money than you can possibly imagine. It's too good to be true. So you got to do your research when it comes to these cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of ways in which you can do that. Obviously one simple way is doing some Google research or internet research with the word scam or fraud, or to determine whether or not there's already discussions about the legitimacy of whatever investment you're looking at. Some of these scams are giveaway scams. They appear to be sponsored by a celebrity. I think we all heard about the Elon Musk cryptocurrency scam or hubbub that came up last month. This lures in more people, gives it more pizzazz, if you will, and really targets that young audience who are a little less risk averse and interested in making money and making it fast. And then, sadly, we're seeing these attached to online dating. So we often talk about the romance scams where you meet somebody online and they fall in love with you quite quickly, and then that love translates into needing money for some reason. Well, another variation on that is encouraging you to invest in a particular cryptocurrency investment, and that could be a scam. Oftentimes it is. Those scams tend to look too like the pyramid scam. So a lot of these cryptocurrency investment scams involve people, you invest, but then part of the investment or the process is you enlisting other people to invest as well. And there again, that may not be a straight out scam as in the sense that it's a fake cryptocurrency, but it could be very deceptive and fall more into the category of this is this is too good to be true, and I'm not going to make that much money, and I'm going to spend most of my time enlisting my friends and family into this investment scam, and everyone's going to really make no money at it. So a lot of variations on the theme, a lot of similarity to scams that we've seen, but a lot of money online. I mean, we're talking, as I say, $70 million in the last less than a year. So pretty significant losses.
Yeah, do you, I guess for people who maybe are not familiar with it, I didn't know until doing just a little bit of research into this that there's 10,000 different cryptocurrency companies, which is just crazy to me. And on the other side of it is it's hard because it is legal, but there's just so many what ifs, if you ask me. And I'm, not, it's hard for me to get into it, but what would you tell people about it? Like they don't know anything about this.
Well, right. It's very, it's a pretty interesting field. I mean, the whole concept of a cryptocurrency is that it's not backed by a government, and so that's good and bad, right? In a lot of ways, we think it's not good, but the reality is it's a mechanism of a digital currency that exists only electronically and is free from government oversight. So there's no physical coin, there's no bill unless you use a service that allows you to cash the cryptocurrency in for a physical token. So that's what it is. It's used for quick payments to avoid transaction fees. People use it. Unfortunately, we're also seeing a lot of these cryptocurrencies used for scams, right? They're used for ransomware and used for, we just saw the big ransomware episode with the pipeline. So when you have a currency that is untrackable and is not backed by a government, who wants to use those? People who don't want to be tracked, and that is often occupied by a lot of not great people. So that's one piece of it. But there's a lot of people who believe cryptocurrency is the wave of the future, and there's a lot of money to be made. The values of cryptocurrencies change pretty frequently too. So if you were smart enough or had the vision enough back, 10 years ago to buy Bitcoin, I think you could get a pizza for I don't know, they were pretty cheap, but now it's extraordinarily expensive to get Bitcoin. And I think that's what people are looking at. And that's why when the new cryptocurrency comes up, in fact, maybe this is going to be the next Bitcoin or something to that effect, and that's why people jump on that bandwagon. But they don't come with any legal protections. So it's really important that people do their research and try to figure out what's going on, because credit cards and debit cards and other forms of payment that we have, they have legal protections if something goes wrong. You're not going to see that a mechanism to dispute a purchase when you're using cryptocurrency. So, how should you avoid it? You should avoid it in the same way you avoid other scams. Go to trusted sources of information, do your homework. If they're asking you to do it really quickly, you should slow your roll and really take the time to look into what you're doing. And if you think you've been scammed, give a call to our hotline at 1-800-422-7128 and see if we can help you resolve some of those concerns.
Well, that's great information. And, we were talking before this started, there's a lot more to be said about this. And as more people get in on this, it's going to come with more scams like everything else, unfortunately. But I'm like that you pointed out, too, that it's a lot of things that we've already seen, the regular scams that we've seen, just a mix here with this cryptocurrency. So I appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to talking to you real soon again.
Okay, thanks for having me.
You bet. There's other Department of Aid, Trade, Consumer Protection. Check the website. They have a lot of great resources out there. And please report it. It's the only way that Lara and the team are going to be able to catch and stop these fraudsters from, frauding you. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Pittsburgh.